Good morning, all of my beautiful rays of sunshine. As you can tell by the lightness outside, it is 5:37 in the morning. And we gotta go and we have a crazy task ahead of us today. We gotta hit legs, which arguably is the worst day of the entire week. But we are currently, I'm not taking my jams off, leave them on. We are currently at, plus the camera, 153. So I don't really know what that equals without the camera, but we got the morning skinny. The lighting in here is so peak. Doing some editing right now, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go hit legs. I'm gonna go make myself some pre-workout because I'm gonna need it, and we're honestly just gonna slay the day. So I will see you guys in a second. Alright, it is dark as crap, so you're not going to be able to see anything until I get onto the main road, but it's 30-some degrees outside. It's a little chilly, so I got my little jacket on, but it's going to be a good day. Like I said, it is leg day, so that sucks, but I'm not going to let that hold me back from having a good day. My hamstrings are low-key still sore from last leg day because I did RDLs with a barbell for the first time since 2024. So it's gonna be pretty quad focused, but nothing we can't do. So I'm gonna turn the camera back on whenever there's lights on the road because this is kind of crazy. All right, I was gonna try and wait so there were more lights on the road, but I honestly forgot that I moved to Tennessee where there just really aren't lights on the road. So either or, it's fine. The only light in here is behind me. So I'm just gonna be talking to you guys like Batman because this is sick and it's also what we have to work with. I'm hoping once we get further into town, it'll be better. But nevertheless, leg day. Like I said, it's gonna be more quad focused. With legs, it's hard for me to tell because I'm just now getting lean enough to see the different muscles in my legs. Like I've always had decent sized legs, but I think a good pair of legs that are lean and you can see the different muscles really make you stand out, number one. Number two, shows the difference between the average person who goes and lifts and then the person that wants to take the time to create a physique for themselves. So I've been really working on my quads. Been doing reverse Nordics, been doing sissy squats, obviously leg extensions. We'll probably do some elevated squats, but I don't know, it's hard for me because I feel like I never prioritize my hamstrings. But unless you're lean as crap, it's really hard to see your hamstrings in general. So I don't really know when is good and when is bad, but every leg day, it hurts to sit on the toilet because my hamstrings are sore. So I have to be doing something right, I'd like to think. I don't know, I really just want massive quads, and I know hamstrings add to that. And I've been doing calves too. You could lift as much as you want, and I genuinely believe this. You could do as many calf raises as you want. There will always be a 40-year-old dad at Home Depot with calves that are 67, I gotta stop saying that, 68% better than yours just because he walks up and down stairs. I know last video I talked a lot about the importance of dieting. Factor Meals, if you want to sponsor me, please, because that's what I do. I used to do meal preps very often. Every Sunday I would cook a cubic crap ton of chicken, whether it's shredded or whatever. Like I said, literally all your progress weight loss wise is going to be made in the kitchen. But what I wanted to talk about was the importance of eating in the sense of not just calories, but what you're eating that make up those calories. Because it's true, like your maintenance level of calories, which there's plenty of like online calculators and stuff like that, and I'm sure I'll make a video going over how to calculate like your specific amount of calories. But if your maintenance is 2,200 calories a day, let's just say for the average 20-something-year-old person, about 150 to 160 pounds, you're probably, if you're working out, your maintenance is going to be like 22 to 2,400 calories. Now, if you eat 1,800 calories of Krispy Kreme donuts and Tootsie Rolls, you are still going to lose weight. Like, you're still going to lose weight because you're eating in a calorie deficit. But is that sustainable? No. Are you going to feel like crap? Absolutely. Now, when you look at what like makes up calories, you have carbs, fats, proteins. You know, everybody says to lose weight, just cut carbs, whatever. And to be honest, like, you will lose weight if you cut carbs, because the way I see it is you got to think of carbs like a piece of white bread, and your body's full of water. So if you put white bread on a table and pour water all over it, that bread is just going to absorb that water and it's going to be heavier. So the more carbs you eat, the more water that your body can absorb and store. You're mainly water anyways, but the more carbs you have in your body, the more your muscles and the more your body itself holds onto the water. So you're going to be heavier. Now, in contrary, the least, I guess, you cut carbs completely, you're basically drying your body out in a sense. Like, your body's gonna store less water, so you're gonna drop weight. But it's almost like a temporary drop. Like, the more, like, you will lose however many pounds, but the second that you add carbs back, or even if you have one day that you just carb load and you just stuff your face with carbs, you're gonna spike your blood sugar, you're gonna spike your glycerol, you're gonna spike your glycogen, just the sugar in your body, because that's what carbs break down to, which is glycol, or your carbs break down to sugars that your body can use as quick energy, which is why people who run and stuff like that, they carb load, because it dumps sugar and energy into your body. So if you reintroduce carbs, you're just gonna gain all of that weight back instantly. And you're also gonna spike your blood sugar, spike your energy, all of these things, and then you're gonna crash the second that you take it back out, because your body was riding basically a giant sugar high, and now your body is depleted of that again, and it doesn't know how to act. So everybody says, oh, you wanna go to the gym, eat chicken and rice and broccoli and focus on protein. And I never really understood why everybody was like, just eat protein. Besides, like, it helps my muscles grow. But protein in and of itself takes energy to break down. Like, you burn calories breaking down protein. So the more protein you eat, the more calories you burn from digesting. So when people talk about, like, I'm just gonna eat Taco Bell or Burger King or whatever and then go run on the treadmill and burn all those calories off, in a sense, yes, if you eat 300 calories and then walk on the treadmill and burn 300 calories, it's negligent. But what makes up 90% of the calories burned a day is sitting and standing. So, or sleeping as well. So everything, the majority of your weight loss is gonna be done in sleep, is gonna be done in sitting, is gonna be done in standing. And that's whenever you start looking at metabolism. And the only thing that changes metabolism is exercise level and diet. The more muscle you have on your body, the more calories your body burns sitting and standing. And how do you build muscle? Eat protein and exercise. So not only will eating protein burn more calories, because your body has to break down those amino acids, which is just what protein is made of, amino acids, on like a scientific level. But in a very simplistic way, like protein is hard to break down and your body has to absorb it somehow, and it burns calories doing that. But when you are exercising and eating a surplus of calories or surplus of protein, you're gonna build muscle. And the more muscle you have, like I said, you are gonna burn more calories sitting and standing. So whenever you look at somebody who may be 180 pounds but has, no muscle, to lose weight, that person's gonna have to eat a lot less food because sitting and standing, they're not burning as much calories or as many calories as the person who's got more muscle on them. So, and this goes for everybody because that's my main pullback I hear most of the time is from women that go to the gym and they just want to walk and do treadmill, and that's fine. Like, exercise is exercise nonetheless. Get up, do what you feel comfortable with doing and what can get you out of bed. But I hear all the time, I don't want to get too bulky. I don't want to look like a man. I don't want big muscles. Like, I want to lose weight. And I've been training for 2 to 3 years, kind of last year and a half, very consistently. And I've been trying my hardest to run into I ended up too bulky. I put on some size now, but that's because of the way I orient my diet. It's not because of what I do in the gym. But you're a female and you're watching this, like, pick up some weights. Don't be scared to lift weights, because you're not gonna wake up one day and be some mass monster and be 210 pounds lean and look like Hulk Hogan, but you're simply just helping yourself reach your goal. Because even if it's not visible muscle, like if you're putting on muscle and you're really just doing like hip thrusts, back exercises, or things like that, you're gonna lose more weight the more muscle you put on and the more protein you eat. And more muscle you put on sounds scary, but it's not. It's just, instead of having arms this big that's all fat and jiggly, you have arms this big, which is muscle, and it's just more firm. And that's where people run into the dilemma of saying, well, I just want to look toned. Well, the definition of toned is putting on muscle and then losing fat. There's no exercise that's going to tone muscle. Muscle doesn't get toned. Muscle gets revealed and muscle gets built. There's really not much in between, and it's pretty simple. But there's just a lot of misconceptions from people that haven't been told those things before. And this isn't riveting information. Like, I'm not to say this like this is a new case study discovery. This is just simple thermodynamics, which is a fancy word for burning calories. So even if you're not tracking your calories, and like we talked about last video a little bit, like if you're not going all the way where you're like, oh, I want visible abs and I want to purposely gain weight so I could purposely lose fat so I could look more ripped, like if you're just a casual gym goer and you're really struggling with eating less, just focus on eating more protein, because inevitably the more protein you eat and consistently, like even if for 3 months you're not seeing crazy progress, but you're losing a couple pounds here and there, and you might be going up and down and up and down, continue eating protein and continue working out, because it's only gonna get easier, because your body's just gonna burn more and more calories sitting and standing, letting you eat more volume and still getting the same results. Because back when I started and I didn't have much muscle, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna drink chocolate milk every day and I'm gonna eat 3,700 calories in bulk. But really, all I needed to do was eat enough protein that my body was realizing, oh snap, we have extra protein. Let's allocate this to your muscles, because your body isn't designed to look or be fit, in a sense. Like, your body is designed to survive. So if you eat in a deficit, your body's gonna say, hey, we have a little bit less calories than we're used to, so we gotta take it from somewhere, and that's gonna be your fat storage. It's first your carbs and your glycogen, which is the sugar we talked about. And once that's gone, then your body's gonna start taking it from the next readily available source, which is your fat. So that's how you lose fat. Now, to put on muscle and to do that, you have to eat in a surplus, and you have to eat enough protein that your body goes, hold on, I have more than I need. You know, I have more protein than is required to do my normal bodily functions, so let's send it to the places that might not be necessary, but I gotta send it somewhere. And that'll go to your muscle growth and muscle development, because your body's not designed to get 20-inch biceps. Your body's designed to hunt and give yourself energy to be able to survive. So if you're casually going to the gym and you want to lose weight and it just isn't working out how you want it to, all you got to do is just try your best to focus on eating more protein, because in the long term, you're going to end up losing more weight sitting and standing. But anyways, I pulled into the gym, so let's go get our stretching going and we can start our leg day. Oh, where's my camera button? All right, we made it. Gonna stretch our legs out. I'm probably gonna start with those squats I talked about with the heel elevation. Focus on the quads. A lot of people say you should warm up your quads and your hamstrings before you do squats and any compound or anything like that. And I agree. Like, it's good to warm everything up before you start throwing, 225 on a squat bar and start squatting. But I really, on my compounds, have been trying to go light and really focus on the quads as much as possible with compounds, specifically squats. And I know it's clown to be like, well, Tom Platt said, but when you look at bodybuilders in general, and arguably Tom Platt's had the best legs out there, and he always says, squats shouldn't be focused on your hip flexors or your lower back or things like that, because it's not a lower back exercise. It's typically a quad exercise, and depending on how you orient yourself, your hamstrings will or will not get activated as well. So the more your knees go forward and the more you're driving with the balls of your feet, the more your quads are going to be activated on those squats, and the less your hamstrings are going to be activated, which just isolates your quads a little bit more, which really, the only time I've been able to activate my quads is on Smith machine squat. I really haven't figured it out too much on barbell, but it's all a work in progress. It's all anything is ever. But for my stretching, I try and keep it pretty simple. I like to get my hips opened a little bit. Definitely get my quads and my hamstrings are usually the tightest. Like I kind of said in the car, like my hamstrings are still so tight from, please excuse this angle, my hamstrings are still tight from when I did RDLs with the barbell, because that's a whole different level of like working out. I don't know. Continue with some more. And honestly, like I work at a bank, so I work banking hours. But even if I didn't, I would still probably go to the gym at this time. So right now, I think it's like 6:20. It's about a 30-minute drive to the gym. But it's like the perfect amount of people. I would obviously love it to be empty, but also then you miss out on getting to meet people, and there's also just something about an empty gym that feels weird. But there's not too many people. When it's like way too crowded and you have a 0% chance of being able to get on a squat rack, that's frustrating. But it's a good balance. So if you're looking to start getting into the gym and you're
you're nervous about looking stupid in front of other people, first off, don't. Everybody looks stupid. I look stupid right now. I'm sitting on the floor like a toddler. But try and go at times where the gym's not too busy, so early in the morning, usually evenings when people would be getting off work. It's a little busier, but yeah, I don't know. Let's go head over to the Smith machine. I'm not gonna go crazy. The home gym I used to work out at had feet chalks, which was nice, but I'm gonna just do no weight for a second, try and feel it out, get the plate in the right spot. Now I know I said driving with the balls of your feet, we're gonna work your quads a little bit more. Obviously, if you're doing heel elevated squats, you want to drive with your heels because that's putting that angle onto your feet. So if you're driving with strictly the balls of your feet, you're still going to work your quads, but you're going to be activating your calves in a way that you don't need to be. So if you drive with your feet like this, where your knees are coming over your feet, and you're driving with your heels, you're basically just pushing up with just your quads. It takes your hamstrings out of the equation. So I'm gonna keep working up weight. I don't like to jump straight to a plate on these because I like my knees. I had a ACL, MCL, and meniscus surgery. So I always warm up my knees because them boys be crunching. Not really them boys, it's just one. Just my right leg. All right. That feels good. We'll probably just throw a plate on, call it a day. All right, we'll get into our first working set here. I'm gonna do 4. Where's my music? Oh my gosh. Those are absolutely killer. I know I said I was gonna drop, but I might honestly add 10 pounds. I hit 12 pretty easily. Still hurt on the last ones, but I'm trying to add weight where I can, because I used to keep like a little notebook with all my lifts and all the weight, so you could do like progressive overload and make sure you're building strength. But between meal prepping, now filming, and also just like enjoying the gym a little bit and not making it a chore, kind of stopped doing that. Just focused on kind of mentally logging how much I'm doing for each lift. Like if I do 35-pound curls one week, the next week I might start with 37s, and if I got to drop, I can. But just try and build up. All right, we're on set number 3. I did one extra set where I threw a 10 on, but low-key I feel like I can't get deep enough, consistently pause. I mean, story of my life, am I right, guys? That's you and I both, right? But in all reality, I kind of have to poop. Caffeine at 5 in the morning combined with deep squatting really is a recipe for disaster, but that's what I live for, I guess. Alright, got one more. I always talk about how much I hate leg day. leg day is not bad. I actually love leg day. I love the leg pump on a bulk. On a cut, it's a whole nother level of like, after that set of squats, man, your body and your nervous system is just like, needs carbs. But we're pushing through. We got one last set, and then arbitrarily, I think that's the correct use of that word, we're gonna have to do a little bit of hamstring. So we'll do some leg curls, nothing crazy, pretty lightweight, because we're still a little sore. So. That's it. All done. All done. Oh, fuck that. Not happy about it, but leg curls or hamstring curls, whatever you want to call them. I'll probably go up a little bit. I need to go up the weight. I gotta stop. Everything I was talking about in the car, about having a good day today, and leg day being okay, it's all out the window. This shit sucks. But we're gonna continue doing it, because why not? But yeah, absolute buns. I'm exhausted already. I low-key could use one of those Fruity Tooty Red Bulls right now. But then the Coke Brown we almost had earlier would definitely be a factor into the next set. So. Oh, heck no. Heck no. Oh my gosh. We got one more. And then we're on to leg extensions, which they're my favorite. They give you a good leg pump. Arguably the hardest out of all of them, mentally. Because if you put the weight on 80, like if you put it on 80 pounds and do 10 reps, it feels the exact same as if you do it for 150 pounds for 10 reps. And I don't care what anybody says, that's the truth. And I don't know if it's because your legs are stuck like this and like your main artery is getting cut off from the weight. But man, after like rep 10, doesn't matter what weight you're at, I could be at 30 pounds and my legs will just like go out. So we got one more. Okie dokie. Going through mental struggles and all I could come up with was okie dokie. But we got one more and then we'll go to some leg extensions. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing. Crazy change of scenery, guys. I'm completely not at the next machine directly next to the hamstring curls. All right, we're gonna do these slow and controlled, focus on the eccentric. We'll do 4 sets of these or until I start crying, honestly. Oh my gosh. This machine's a little funky. I feel like I can't get full extension because of my legs. Look at this genius talking about not being able to do a leg exercise because of his legs. But like when I come up, I feel like I can't go all the way because my hamstrings on the bottom here blocking it, but still a solid pump on my quads. So we'll do 3 more of those, and if I need to do more, I can. All right, as per usual, I did 1 set off camera so I could get the last 2 on camera. But this is, okay, this is where the pain starts. So we got 110 pounds on right now. We'll do as many of these as we can, then do some partials until our legs give out, and then we're gonna drop 20 pounds, do it again, and then on the last set we'll drop twice, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Drop it. Do these ones slow. Oh my gosh. God, that is awful. That is actually horrible. Why do I do this to myself? This has to be a form of like masochism, being hurting yourself, but not in the grippy socks kind of way, in the massive leg kind of way. Double drop set. Maybe if I move the seat up, it'll help. Okay, drop. Okay. Drop again. Screw it, drop again. Oh, my legs are shaking. Oh. Oh. That last couple reps was at 40 pounds. Just in case you guys are wondering on your end how much of a monster I am. 40 whole pounds on leg extension. Hide your mothers. Alright, now we are on to some calves. Oh, been trying to grow my calves. I feel like I have okay calves, but like I said in the car, those 40-year-old dads make me subconscious, so we'll get up here, just rep as many out as we can. The squeaking's crazy. Oh my gosh. I need to go up and wait. I need to do less reps because those squeaks are driving me crazy. All right, we're gonna have a break in the action because I'm bored as hell. So we're gonna talk to avid gym goers. Who are we here with?
Man, Mr. 110.
Mr. 110.
Yes,
You gotta
sir.
tell me, what's your favorite and least favorite exercise and why?
So my favorite exercise is back. I love hitting back, pull-ups, you know what I'm saying, lat pull-downs. I don't know, there's something about it. That back pump's something different. Least, legs, you know what I'm saying? But this past year, I have incorporated way more leg workouts, and I'm starting to like it. But it's still the least, you know what I'm saying? Because I be working a lot. Working off legs is That's not it, bro.
No, I feel you on that. That's what I'm going through today.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
You got any New Year's resolutions?
Man, just stay locked in, you know what I'm saying? Get more gains, stay focused, you know what I mean? And just, let's get it, bro, you know what I mean?
You compete or anything, or you just do it because?
Man, just do it to stay fit, stay lit, you know what I'm saying? That's it, bro.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure meeting you, bro.
Meet you too, my guy.
All right, after a much needed break from the jam-packed action we got going on, I gotta focus. I gotta get back on this calf machine here. This is, again, a very vulnerable camera angle for myself, so please do not take advantage. That kind of sounded like I was asking for it. That's my bad. Okay. Whew. We'll do one more of those. I'm honestly... Yo, what's going on?
It works.
What? You got it to work?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Push it.
Oh. Hey. But that works. We're gonna do one more. I'm not feeling this machine that much. I usually do the Smith machine calf raises just on a plate, kind of how I did the elevated squats, but obviously with the plate on the balls of your feet and come up. But like I said, I like to differentiate. I like to try new things. I like to try and get new tension types on each muscle. Yeah, I'm gonna take a 5 second breather, and then I'm gonna hop back on. All right, last set, really pushing for volume. And then I'm gonna do a little quirky, little ha-ha, little funsy quad exercise with some bands and some stretching to try and get some of that tendon strength built up in the knees. So once the 15th hits and I start bulking, I can get back to squatting heavy and not have to worry about anything. So let's get this one out the way though. Go forward a little. All right, that's all I got in me. All right, let me clean this up and we'll get on to that quirky, funny, ha-ha, goofy quad exercise. All right, we have made it to the silly, quirky, goofy quad exercise. It looks so stupid, but let me tell you, it is a burner. So it's band-supported reverse Nordics. There's many ways you could do this. You could do it with like a back extension machine where you lock your calves in and kind of hunch over. I don't like it because I feel like that puts too much torque on my knees. But basically, I just hold the band. I'm not really using it till I get to the bottom. But I come all the way back like you're stretching your quads. And then you come all the way up and try and use only your quads on it. So like I'm really not even putting tension on the band. It's just there in case I need it. And I'll start using it like later on in the sets when it gets a lot more difficult. But I like to do 3 sets of these to kind of close out. Little burner. Maybe do like a set or 2 with sissy squats. I'll try if my quads aren't too bad. But you get a crazy stretch on this. So if you haven't done it, give it a shot. It looks so stupid, but it feels so good. Pause. It is unique to say the least. I don't think I've ever worked my quads like this. It's kind of like a leg extension, but just the opposite. Because you're extending with your quads, but your body's the part that's moving. It's like a hoist machine, if you've ever used one of those. Dang. I'll do 3 sets total of this. I'm not gonna film the next one because, like I said, super riveting content. But the leg pump's coming along, to be honest, so that's all that really matters. All right, I absolutely lied. I am not doing sissy squats after this. My legs are cooked. But I will do one more, AKA my 3rd and final set of these. Really try and get as deep as I can. Pause. That was excessive, but it was fun. Yeah. That's all I got. That's all I can. All right, let me put this up. We'll go do some posing. The lighting in there is kind of ass, so we'll see if I can even see my legs, but on to the next. Like I said, lighting in here is kind of horrible, but we'll see if I can get any leg poses to come through on camera. Nah, you're not gonna be able to see anything. Well, it's not for lack of trying, I guess. Not the best, not the best visual of what I'm made of, but you know, it'll do. That's gonna be it for the leg day. Hold on, let me grab my fancy pants microphone. It's gonna be it for the leg day. I gotta get going to work, so I gotta get all dressed up in my fancy pants clothes. But yeah, we got cardio and abs tomorrow with a little bit of accessory, so I always like to add at least one chest exercise in there because my chest is never as sore as it should be, lower chest wise. Because I grew up hearing, you know, do upper chest, it's underdeveloped. So that's all I did. So we'll do some like chest flies or something like that, maybe some decline press. But yeah, that's what we're looking forward to tomorrow. This weekend, I gotta speak like I speak English. I have a friend coming to come work out with me. I don't know if we're gonna film that or not. I might ask, but we'll see. There's a lot of big things coming up, but 152 pounds right now. Still got 2 weeks left in the cut. Got 2 more pounds to shed. Very doable, pound a week, without losing too much muscle. And then it's back to the bulk and try and get my numbers up as much as I can. Get my bench back up to like 205, maybe even 215, 225. I've never hit 2 plates in my life, but I would love to do that. But thank you guys for sticking around if you guys did. I know legs is a real riveting concept that a lot of people don't even do themselves, and I definitely didn't for a while. So put down in the comments if there's anything you want to see, anything you like, anything you don't like, anything to change. I'm always open because I'm just kind of figuring this out and just not really filming for a reason, just doing it out of enjoyment. So if there's something that sticks with you guys and you like it a little bit more, just let me know and I can try and focus on doing that a little bit. But with that being said, I will see you guys next time.